Hello. So I heard of this concept called targeted marketing, where you find a particular target or an audience that you want to target and you aim your advertising towards them. Now, many forms of this is essentially you pay a company and that company then puts out adverts that are targeted to your particular market. And the obvious ways are through social media, general paid advertising, Google, and so on and so forth. So the way this kind of corresponds with me is that I wanted my YouTube channel to grow, so at least get a few subscribers, at least surpass, let's say 1,000, the 1,000 mark. And I've seen that a lot of the YouTube videos I make, especially the trading ones, do quite well. So if I could target my videos that are orientated in trading and target them to people that are interested in trading, I could therefore get more views and subscribers and so forth. So using Instagram, let's use some Python, some automation, and some social engineering, let's say, to try and get people to look at my content. So yeah, let's go through it. So we've got an Instagram page here, this name Steve Jazz 001. First things first, we need to get a person, so a person's face, a profile picture. So my trusty website to go to when finding general pictures is Pixel or Pexel. So this guy looks kind of nice. Now, the good thing about these pictures is that you can use them without paying anything, without or having to disclose that this is from the Pixel site. So if you go into info, it says no attrition required. So meaning that you don't need to specify that that this photo is from this particular author. So we're just going to use this image. So let's go into Photoshop and paste this in. Now, because this person's an actual person, I don't really want to use their real face because obviously it's not exactly fair. I mean, they have put it up online, so you can do so, but I think that's a bit unfair to use his face for that. So, a game recently came out called Elden Ring, and they have really nice helmets. So, I thought let's try and use this sort of helmet on the person. So, we know that the person in the image is standing towards us, so nose facing us. Let's see if we can find a helmet that has that sort of orientation. Now we want to paste, not paste, just kind of drag it in. Let's go to, we want to go to our files. So if we, okay, so if we now move, we go to downloads, we move this image, and we want to move that to pictures, Instagram, move. We should be able to go into Instagram, add profile photo. That looks adorable. Yes, brilliant. That looks beautiful. Okay, so we've got a person here. Now we need to put up some posts. So, landscapes. Okay, so the way Pixel generally works is it's a free image, but if you want to use it in a commercial setting, you have to edit the image. So The page you want to give is this one. So we say that on to us YouTube channel, they can see, let's say, trading related content. That's kind of the advertisement way we're gonna go about this. So if I say, okay, can you check out my friend's YouTube channel? So you can see here we've got that, and we can just press save or whatever. So I like tech and trading, blah blah blah. Yeah, so they can see that. So we have a post, we have a channel, we have some content in our bio where we want users to go. So I want this user to interact with individuals in a social way that will bring them to this channel. And so the best way I feel I can do that is to find a channel that relates to the content I'm trying to push. So if I go trading, so to recap, I'm this person, this rather lovely guy with a helmet, and we have a bio that says to check out the YouTube's channel for trading related content, and we've got that link here that when clicked brings them to this YouTube page, right? So what we want to do is try and push this to the users that we had found under algo trading. So if we look at this, for example, we have the algo trading group, and that has 6,000 followers, right? So if we could try and interact with these 6,000 followers, my YouTube channel has trading videos which I assume these people will be interested in. So with my profile, or this profile here, having a bio link to my YouTube channel, which kind of directs them to this trading related stuff, the idea is that if I follow them, they might start to look at my profile and therefore be directed via this link. So we'll just try that. So this is where we incorporate some Python now. Okay, yeah, so we have Appium here, which is an automation program used for Instagram. Well, it's more of an automation software that you can use for testing mobile frameworks. I've got the server up and I need that to be running so I can connect with the Appium mobile. So once the server's up and running, so with 127.0.0.1, which is our local address, we're going to start the server up. I want to then do that. Hopefully this works. Okay, cool, we're working. We're in business. I've got a bunch of packages here. I'm using Appium. By defining a driver here, what I essentially am doing is I'm creating a a starting point, so where I can actually access the device through a variable which will be called driver, and then I'm basically going through, I was already in this follower page, I'm going through each follower and grabbing their name. And the idea is that I could use a group of people as a potential audience. Okay, so we finished our script and we've got the names of all the followers that follow this particular individual on Instagram that's called Algo Trading Group. Now, the idea, try to follow these individuals and hope that they'll reciprocate that, look at my account and look at my YouTube channel, and if everything goes well, they might subscribe. So, okay, so I've made a script. We essentially start up Appium and we basically load everything up. We get the files that we need to get our data to find the accounts we need to find. We then click onto Instagram's search page. We then find the user, follow them, and then hopefully they'll follow us back. And we just keep doing that in succession until we reach the end of the file, or Instagram says you've done too many for today, please wait a while. Because Instagram has its own safeguards in place to stop you from following a lot of people. So that's enough talking. Let's just get this program to run and hopefully we will see something work. let's just run this then. So just to show you it's working, let's get the server up. Okay. Alright, so Instagram's opened up. We go to a home page, wait a certain amount of time, click on the search bar, click in the search section, type in the user's name from the file we saved, click on the first one, follow. Hopefully this doesn't crash. Okay, so yeah, click follow. Now it should go and wait a certain amount of time. Actually, I think it'll click on the followers and then just kind of waste a bit of time here by going up and down. Scroll a bit, and you'll keep doing that, I think about 12 times, and then we'll get out of that and then go on to the next one. So I'll leave this to go over time, like time lapse the whole thing, so it's sped up. Alright, so I've stopped the program and I'm currently following 91 people. And from those people, only 2 people have technically followed me back. Now the program was only running for a few hours and it's only been a half a day. So usually this stuff does take a bit of time because you can't expect people to check their phone straight away for them to follow you back. But nonetheless, I think there are some issues here because I'm asking people to check out my Instagram page when I've only got this picture of a landscape. It doesn't necessarily show I'm interested in trading. So maybe if I had like a post of a bar chart or something, maybe that might entice people more. But yeah, I think you'll need to run this over a period of time, and I don't expect results to happen straight away. But nonetheless, it is still promoting the channel out there. Now, I assume people are going to want to ask for a copy of the code, but one issue with this sort of thing is Appium is built to interact with the GUI of a phone. So let's say your phone had a different screen size or was a different model or you had a different emulator, then the boxes themselves that I interact with. So each one of these values on the page is its own, has its own ID value, has its own XPath, has its own CSS value or whatever. So for some phones, the values might be universal, but for others, some values may change. So if I did share this code, it might not necessarily work with every phone, and you'll probably have crashes here and there. The best way to go about creating this stuff is to use the tutorial I made previously about how to automate Instagram using Appium and then work from there. But I assume you're going to want to know what sort of flow I'm using to automate these tasks. So I'll just give you a brief outlook or a brief overview of what the code does. Okay, so going through the code is just a single page script, and all we're doing is taking the time. We then check our hour and see whether it's in the threshold we assume someone to be awake at during daytime hours. So we're basically saying here if the time is larger than 6 a.m., then run the program. Otherwise, if the time is smaller than 7 a.m., then add some extra time here. So the assumption is at 12 a.m. the clock turns to 0, and so we will go into sleep mode. And if that's the case, we'll add extra time to our sleep mode and sleep for that more. So if you want to go into the main meat of the code, we have a driver where it's defined. I've spoken about this in the previous video I made about Appium and using that with automating Instagram using Appium, and I've spoken about that before, so you can just check out the video there. This just basically loads up our device. So the device by default will be on the home page, and because we have Instagram on our icons there, we'll just click that. So that opens up, and then setup basically puts our device into a certain stage. So where we go into the search setting, this just loads up our files that we need that we're going to search for usernames and usernames we've visited. This just generates us a random time that we're going to be using the app for. This just checks whether we have usernames to search for, and yeah, this works out whether the current time period that we've spent on the phone, you want to make it random again, so you want to make it maybe 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe half an hour. This just checks whether we are using the app too much. If we are, then we go to the home page and rest or return or wait for a certain period of time. Based on the username we've got, we take that out of our list. We then check if the username is within the accounts we visited. If it's not, we then go here, we search the username. We then analyze the account to check whether generally you don't want to really have or follow accounts that have a large number of following and a small number of followers. So that is what this function is for. And depending on the return of that function, um, here you can see there's no really logic here about followers and following. Otherwise, there was when I did that, but I just commented it out. So yeah, it returns back a tuple, and that basically returns us the um, the index placement of a username. Because what we're doing here is um, we're taking a bunch of usernames that we present. So when we search for something like, let's say, you have a series of different icons, and so we're getting the index value of the icon. So this might be the second one down, the third one down, and we get that index and we return it, and and we otherwise we just back out of the account if the account doesn't exist. And then that's what this logic here is for. So we get the check if we're going to follow the account and the index value of that account. We then save that here if there's no index value returned. We want to go back into the index if that's the case. And then we check if we're following this or not. Then we click follow. And then this is if you're, I think it's called spidering or something like that, where you go into a followers, where you go into a user's account and you get their followers and save those names into a file. And that was what that logic here does. And then we add the user to accounts we visited, we wait for a random time, and then we just double check the driver is still defined because sometimes Appium can crash. And then we just keep going back until we get to the search menu. So let's say we do this and we're in something like this. We want to keep going back till we get to this main section here. So yeah, it's basically, it took quite a bit of time to make because it did crash quite a bit, but the logic's there and it should be fairly easy to replicate. Yeah, if you want me to speak in a more detailed way about this script, just let me know in the comments. Um, it's difficult to share it because the nature of Appium, you have to sort of design it yourself for your own device. Um, but if there's a demand for it, then I'll try to make this a bit more clear, make the layout a bit more understandable. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.